I'm Heath Lambert, and you're listening to Marked by Grace, a podcast applying the grace of Jesus to all of life. Is capitalism corrupt? That's the fascinating question this week on Marked by Grace. If you've got a different question or concern that you'd like me to address, you can send that in to markedbygrace@fbcjax.com. That's markedbygrace@fbcjax.com. We get lots of questions. I try to take the ones that as many people as possible are asking, or the ones that seem to be the most interesting. And so if you think you can do better than whether capitalism is corrupt, then send it in and I'll get to it if I can. Is capitalism corrupt? Here's the very specific nature of your question this week. Is capitalism corrupt because of greed? Now, this episode is dropping on Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving week is one of my absolute favorite weeks in the whole entire year. And one of the reasons it's my favorite is because you have this wonderful meal on Thursday. The Thanksgiving meal is my absolute most favorite meal I have all year long. I look forward to it for the entire year. I love it. I love Christmas dinner, love Easter dinner, love my birthday dinner. But Thanksgiving dinner is the best meal I ever have all year long. I can't wait. And then what happens is after Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas starts on Friday. You get into the actual official Christmas season, and good Americans inaugurate the Christmas season with what we call Black Friday. And everybody leaves their house at like 1 a.m. and they go stand in line at Target or Walmart or wherever you go. Or these days you can also do it online. And there's these stampedes to get the televisions and the computers and the other digital devices. And it is a sign less of Christmas and more of capitalism. And that's why I'm happy this week on Thanksgiving week to be answering your question about whether capitalism is corrupt. Behind the question is there's so much greed in capitalism. Everybody's trying to make money. Everybody's trying to make a profit. And as Christians who are opposed to the sin of greed, shouldn't we be opposed to capitalism? Well, let me talk about this. First of all, we are absolutely opposed to greed. Greed is a sin. It's one of the famous deadly sins. It is bad for you. It is bad for our society. It is bad for our economic system. You will go to hell forever for the sin of greed if you don't repent and trust in Jesus Christ. So absolutely, I agree with the foundation of the question that greed is bad. Here's the issue, though. We're living in a sinful world, and all economic systems are broken in a sinful world. Capitalism is a system in a sinful world that is going to be broken. It's going to be broken in part because of greed. Socialism is an economic system in a sinful world that is going to be broken. And socialism is broken because of greed. The reality is, greed is a problem for every economic system for a very obvious biblical reason. Here it is. Greed can never be eliminated by an economic system. Greed can only be eliminated by the grace of Jesus. So if you're looking for the economic system that is going to uproot greed, you are not going to find it. Greed is going to be present in every single economic system, capitalism as well as the others. So if the presence of greed defeats economic systems, then we won't have an economic system because only Jesus can get rid of it. What we have to do then is discern, okay, is there an economic system that deals with the presence of greed in the best possible way? I actually think capitalism is the best economic system to do that. Just as a matter of history, capitalism has lifted more people out of poverty and done more good for the world than any other system has done. And so if you're for charitable donations, I mean, you just look at the countries that wind up giving economic aid to impoverished people, that wind up giving economic aid to societies that have been hit by various catastrophes and natural disasters. It is the capitalist economies that are able to help the most number of people, and that's just a historical fact. But there's a more principled reason why we should be grateful that capitalism doesn't uproot greed. Greed is a problem in capitalism, but there are structures in capitalism that are able to help keep greed in check. As a matter of fact, the structure of capitalism creates an accountability structure for greed. And that accountability for greed happens in three areas. So first of all, in capitalist markets and capitalist economies, there is a seller. Now, the seller can be very greedy. The seller is the person with a product, and they want to sell that product and make money. But here's the thing. In a free market, in a capitalist economy, that seller cannot charge any old price they want. As the seller of a product, I might have a product and I want to charge $1 million for each item. But I can't do that in an open market. I can't do that in a capitalist economy. My greed is held in check because of the second party in the capitalist economy, and that is the consumer. Now, the consumer is the person who will purchase the product, and that consumer is greedy. He wants to save money. He says, okay, you want $1 million for that product, but I want the same product for $0. But here's the thing. The consumer is held in check because in an open market, I can't force you to sell your product for just any old price. And that is because of the third party in a capitalist economy, and that is the competitor. The presence of competition, the presence of a competing person selling a similar product holds the whole thing in check. So the competitor also wants to make the most amount of money they can for their product, but they're held in check by other competitors, by another seller who's selling a similar product, and by a consumer who is going to get the best deal. And so that competitor provides options, it provides choices, and it provides accountability to everyone involved. Each of us want to get the most amount of money possible. Each of us want to save the most amount of money possible if we are consumers. But in an open market with competition where there is people who are freely able to engage in various and sundry different relationships, those different relationships hold greed in check. Doesn't eliminate greed. Jesus does that, but it holds greed in check. No system can take away sin. What we need is a system that provides checks and balances on our sin. And I really think in a fallen world, the best economic system you have to do that is the capitalist one.